is of the great state of California, one of the newest, the gay member of Congress. Hello, Representative. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Stephanie.
Well, you know what? It's getting to be just old news now, gay members of Congress. I hate to say it.
I know. We just such a dime a dozen these days.
Yeah. I don't mean you're not special. But,
so last Tuesday.
But I was talking, Representative, about the president's filing as a friend of the court in, amicus brief for the Prop 8 case. And DOMA, this is a big deal, isn't it?
It is a big deal for the President of the United States to put his prestige, the prestige of his office and the force of the presidency. He speaks for all the American people. And to have his Solicitor General, his lawyer, go before the Supreme Court and say that the American people, I speak for the American people, and we believe that Proposition 8 should be unconstitutional and that people in California ought to be allowed to be married and call themselves married.
Representative, there's always people, as you know, on both sides that, whatever the president does, it might not be enough. Obviously, they're saying, some people are saying it doesn't go as far as some people has wanted, but it seems like he's making the best argument in order to win, right? And not in terms of not overreaching legally.
Right. He's doing the best strategic argument that he can, and in fact, if the brief that the argument in their brief is accepted by the court, it'll in fact go beyond California to several other states that have a similar situation where they have pretty much all the practical effects of marriage, but aren't allowed to call it marriage. I mean, essentially, there's a few states that are like that. I mean, this case will reach those residents of those other states as well.
So
go ahead.
Well,
I was going to say, I mean, it's like, in the battle to abolish slavery, it didn't happen all in one fell swoop. It was several decades. I mean, from the founding of the country all the way to 1865, and even then the business wasn't finished. And so we're moving remarkably fast. And I realize the impatience. Martin Luther King talked about, there's such a thing as waiting too long.
Right.
I'm eager for this to get done because I know a lot of people are eager to be able to enjoy the benefits of marriage in their lifetime.
Representative, and he also, Martin Luther King also said the arc of justice is long, but it always bends toward justice. And that's, something else people have said a lot. So it talks about what it means. They urge the Supreme Court to declare unconstitutional Prop 8. But it stops short of explicitly endorsing a federal constitutional right to same-sex marriage. So that's what some people are saying is not enough, and other people are saying that would have been legal overreaching and would have been unhelpful.
Well, in this particular case, the question before the court is whether to uphold the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals reversal of Prop 8. There's also a case before the court, the Windsor case, which actually goes directly to the Defense of Marriage Act, which strike out a section of that act. And if the court rules in favor of the plaintiff there, it would essentially have federal recognition of all the rights that go along with the federal rights of marriage would be attached to those people who are married in states where it is legal. These two cases would move marriage equality forward in significant ways. Look to June as a very significant month for marriage equality. Things are likely to move very, very quickly, and I'm very optimistic and hopeful at this point.
Well, I mean, and I thought, what were we up to? 131 Republicans that also have signed this brief, which I think is also significant, right? A lot of very, very influential people.
Right. Well, the country has certainly moved. Riverside County was a red county for 20 years. It was also a county that voted quite heavily for Prop 8, but it also elected me the first openly gay member of Congress from the state of California. Right. What I tell people is if Riverside County can be on the right side of history, so can the entire nation.
Yeah.
And things happen in fits and starts, and we're in a moment. I feel like it's 1865, when we're on the cusp of a major civil rights and a major breakthrough for equality. 1964, another major breakthrough for equality. 2012, a huge we're on the eve of a major breakthrough for equality, and of course that's what unites us as Americans is a belief in equality before the law.
Right. Mark,
it's major.
Interesting. You mentioned 64. I don't know if you know, my dad ran with Barry Goldwater in 64, but he also worked on civil rights legislation as a member of Congress at the time. And I thought, Barry Goldwater was very openly pro-gay rights on the Senate floor in the 80s. And you look at this amicus brief with all these Republicans. That's what I think is that, this is an issue now that has transcended partisan politics, right?
Right, I think that's right. I think that it's becoming a bipartisan agreement, and I think we as Americans, who we are as Americans, is we believe in equality. I mean, that's just one of the prime, basic, fundamental things that unites us as a country. We go
right.
beyond race, we go beyond gender, we go beyond religion. Everybody, no matter what their background, they have their what they enjoy is equality before the law, and I think that's a very powerful idea. Democrats, Republicans all agree to it.
And interesting that people are starting to quote Dick Cheney that freedom means freedom for everybody. But that's what it's true, right? Not just he has a gay daughter, but it's like this is about freedom. These Republicans, they're calling them pro-freedom Republicans, right?
It is about freedom. It's equality and freedom. Equality and freedom. Those two ideas go hand in hand together. And I come from a family of Republicans as well. And I'm one of the first Democrats in my family. This is a huge deal. I'm thinking. This is funny. I find myself saying, among Republicans, I meet a lot of Republicans here on the Hill,
right?
And a lot of them have a lot of common sense, but they're in the closet about it.
Wow. Closet common sensors. That's
what you're seeing, with VAWA, the Violence Against Women Act, Violence Against Women Act. We had a lot of Republicans join with them, and that's the only way we could pass it. But common sense came out of the closet yesterday on the House floor.
It's true.
And what we're seeing with a lot of Republicans filing a brief is, common sense is coming out of the closet there and out of the closet and into before the Supreme Court.
Representative, I got to tell you that is progress. You can be out of the closet if you're gay now, but you need to stay in the closet if you're reasonable. If you're a Republican.
Well, that's right. A lot of them, and I don't want to diminish that because we're in a crazy situation where Republicans have to worry about but for standing up for common sense.
Yeah.
But they face these primaries. But if they're before their general electorate, and that's what the thing is. The Violence Against Women Act. It was too commonsensical to. They couldn't.
Right.
This is going to kill a lot of them in general elections, but some of them have to worry about.
They're the ones that have to worry about getting teabagged. It really is quite extraordinary. They will be primaried by a crazy Tea Party person if they show any kind of reasonable.
The crazy primary will kill them, but before the general election, it's like the face all the voters.
Yeah.
They're going to be judged on common sense, and this is, it's becoming gay marriage is becoming a common sense. Of course, we believe in equality. Of course, this is the humane and right thing to do, and of course, everybody has a right to pursue happiness in the way they see fit.
Right.
So.
So what is your take on what's going to happen later this month at the Supreme Court?
With the Supreme Court, or
what are we? It's end of March, right? That we have the first arguments, isn't it?
Well, they're going to go through their arguments, but I'm more concerned what happens, I think, in June when they kind of hand down their opinions.
Right. Well, obviously, I'm talking about when they start. With the outcome, of course, in June.
The outcome. Justice Kennedy has always had the reputation of on the matters of equality. He's a libertarian in a lot of ways, and I think that he's the justice that people are looking toward. His history in deciding cases in Colorado and other places, that he's likely to be a vote that will join the other four justices and bring at least a 5-4. There's a hope that even the Chief Justice might be someone who also votes. So listen, I got to say that this is a historic moment for the court. It is analogous. It is analogous to when
it is a right or wrong side of the history moment, isn't it?
That's right. And I think Justice Roberts has that view of history. That
and he came out of the closet as a unreasonableness on health care, so there is hope, right?
He did, and because you're not just judged, you're on the court now. You have a lifetime appointment. You're going to be judged by history, and people, the members of Congress in the House who voted for. In 1865, I think, when the 13th Amendment, I watched Lincoln, and it was very inspiring for me to see, those members rise to the occasion and stand up for what was right. Americans have an uncanny way of rising to the occasion, and I'm hopeful that the members of the court, they cannot resist the powerful ideas of freedom and equality.
It's an idea whose time has come. Nothing more powerful. Representative, what is your, before you go, your bet on whether Judge Scalia is going to say something horrible and offensive and homophobic?
Don't put him on the spot.
Well, I like to think, I hope for the best in people. I come to Congress with the best of motivations, and, I'll just say a little prayer for the judge.
There you go.
That was so diplomatic.
Good answer, Congressman.
All right. Representative Mark Takano, great state of California. Thanks so much, Congressman.
Well, thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon. All right. There he goes. Oh, bless his heart. That was precious.
Yeah.
A little prayer. Say a little prayer for Scalia.
Say a little prayer for him.
Representative Mark Takano
forever.
is also Representative Mark Takano is also the very first openly gay minority person in Congress,
right?
Awesome.
Ever.
Yeah, I got to hang out with Senator Tammy Baldwin at the inauguration. I thought what I loved about that race too, her sexuality was not an issue on either side.
Yeah,
not an issue anymore when we don't have to even talk about it. Right.
That's right.
18 minutes after the hour, right back on the Stephanie